Sean Diddy Combs, pictured here with the Democratic former President Barack Obama, has just been arrested for sex trafficking. Just last month, federal officials raided the Los Angeles and Miami homes of musician Sean Diddy Combs, and 7 separate lawsuits, one of which was filed by his former girlfriend Cassandra Ventura, provide detailed allegations of rape, abuse, and drugging. As discussed by Fox News host Jesse Waters in his program, the disgraced billionaire hip-hop mogul and Democratic Party community organizer, with subpoenas raining down, Diddy's inner circle is getting squeezed. His alleged drug mules have already been handcuffed. Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Young Mommy, who allegedly transported his pink cocaine on private jets, she's feeling the heat. The question investigators are looking to answer is, who else is involved? Well, if you ask Diddy's ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal, he thinks Diddy's celebrity friends are keeping quiet because his entire house was taped and bugged. According to him, it's not only celebrities going to be shook. He's had politicians in there. He's had princes in there. He's also had a couple of preachers in there. You hear that? Politicians, you guys. And coincidentally enough, right about the same time this was coming out about Diddy, Fox News published an article about how he's been a prolific supporter of Democrats. Combs has leveraged his stardom and fame to back Democrats during his career, including President Biden during the 2020 elections, in what looked to be an attempt to persuade black voters. He even had that friendly-looking photo with Obama that I showed you guys. Now, on the topic of questionable Democrats, we have none other than former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Did you guys hear? She just announced that she's running for re-election in November. So people are wondering, why is the 83-year-old former Democratic leader still willing to go through all these politics? Well, multimillionaire real estate mogul Grant Cardone has something to say about it. In a recent podcast, Grant Cardone singled out Nancy Pelosi, claiming she's never made more than $179,000 per year, yet her net worth is estimated to be around $120 million. So they're saying that being in government may be a cheat code when it comes to accumulating wealth, and that some politicians may be benefiting from undisclosed financial opportunities. You guys know what I mean? It's time for us to take a look, and this video is going to do just that. You guys ready? All right, so let's go ahead and dive right in. Sean Diddy Combs, it's a whole mess. Fox News host Jesse Waters talked about it with former NYPD Rap Intelligence Unit Derek Parker on his show. Check this out.
Now you see him at the top. I mean, billionaire, all the hits, he's mentoring everybody in the business. But there's some sinister things happening under the surface, according to this lawsuit. Did you see that coming?
Yes. When I saw the payoff with Cassie, and I saw that come out and how that was quickly taken care of, I knew things were going to come after this. I knew that there were going to be other people that were going to follow in line, or people that he had past relationships with that were going to probably come forward and bring up allegations of his conduct and things that he's done.
When you hear about the sex trafficking, the hidden cameras in every room, the narcotics, paying off law enforcement, the affiliation with gangs, how do you interpret that?
Well, that's an allegation that someone else made about what happened.
Right.
The guns and the narcotics and things like that, these things happen in this business. It's out there in the hip-hop world. I mean, I've come along a lot of cases where I've had rappers involved with drugs and guns and things like that. So I'm not surprised by that. But the government took a big step in waiting on this to come out and do this. They had this planned. Believe it or not, this is planned. I think even tonight, Diddy's girlfriend, Young Mommy, was caught distributing drugs, or she's been labeled as indicated in the federal report as supplying drugs. They count and paying people off. So this is only the start of this investigation. Your search warrant, now this comes out, now there's going to be other things that's going to come out.
Why do you think?
As Waters just said recently, for 2 decades, Diddy thought he was untouchable. Now his world is crumbling. TMZ has been all over the story, revealing that the federal case against Diddy is expanding. It seems that the Federal District of New York prosecutors are really broadening their scope. They're handing out subpoenas to multiple corporations that are tied to the mogul, like cell phone providers and computer companies. And in what looks like no coincidence, Diddy has been offloading his major assets like his shares in Revolt TV and music rights from Bad Boy Records. You would think it was a fire sale for Diddy. Everything must go. The feds are even targeting his private jets and might soon start subpoenaing commercial airlines and possibly even the FAA to track down anyone who might have flown with Diddy. They're not only looking for victims, they're looking for witnesses. People with unfettered access to Diddy's alleged crimes and freak-off parties. Some inside of Diddy's world have already started talking. Diddy's former bodyguard says that he'll go on the stand. Diddy's world seems to be shrinking as those who are close to him are feeling the pressure. His alleged former drug drug mules have already been arrested. Even Diddy's ex, Young Mommy, is reportedly sweating it out over accusations of transporting pink cocaine for him on private jets. Investigators are digging deep. They've seized all of Diddy's surveillance footage, hard drives, and phones, wanting to piece together who's been in and out of his properties and his planes. According to a lawsuit from Lil Rod, it wasn't just up-and-coming artists getting caught in Diddy's net. Celebrities, politicians, athletes, international dignitaries, and music label executives were all apparently captured on camera in Diddy's compounds. Diddy's ex-bodyguard Gene Deal confirms this as well, saying that Diddy's celebrity friends are keeping quiet because his entire house was taped and bugged. Deal said in a recent interview how it's not only celebrities that are going to be shaken. He's had politicians in there. He's had princes in there. He's also had a couple of preachers in there. The people's call? Expose them and get those squatters out of the White House and other places of power. He also cited Lil Rod's lawsuit mentioning how Diddy's entire house was equipped with cameras and audio recording devices. He said that by them having those things in the house and people know there's drugs and alcohol, there's loose women, there's loose men, all kinds of crazy shh. They're just wondering who or when they're going to let this stuff be known. Now, just for starters, here are some of the famous people confirmed to be named in the lawsuits associated with Diddy. R&B singer Aaron Hall, music producer Harvey Pierre, actor Cuba Gooding Jr., Universal Music Group CEO Lucien Grange, his son Justin Dior Combs, rapper Young Mommy, DJ and producer Stevie J. So you get it, guys. It's shaping up to be a very big bust. Now, news outlets are also associating Diddy to Democrats as he's been a staunch supporter of the political party during his career. Combs has leveraged his stardom and fame to back Democrats during his career, including President Biden during the 2020 elections in what looked to be an attempt to persuade black voters. Combs was part of a group of dozens of black individuals who sent a letter to Biden in August 2020 urging him to select a black vice presidential candidate, hence Kamala Harris. Combs has also appeared to be friendly with former President Barack Obama. In 2004, he interviewed the then Illinois state senator for MTV's Rock the Vote campaign and later appeared friendly with him in pictures posted to social media. His caption on the September 2017 Facebook post showed a picture of him and Obama. "This week has been great. Shout out to the King Barack Obama. Hashtag Black Excellence." Conversely, Combs has said white men like Donald Trump need to be banished. Now, Combs' defense for those raids on his home. His attorney, Aaron Dyer, said that there was a gross overuse of military-level force and that there has been no finding of criminal or civil liability with any of these allegations. Now, this last part is where it really got me. So listen up, you guys. They called it a witch hunt because of meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits. Now, where have I heard that before? So Diddy, who's an established supporter of Democrats, is now crying witch hunt, the same as what's happening with former President Donald Trump and all of his legal cases? Now, there's definitely something that's going on wild behind the scenes, you guys. This is why I highly recommend you subscribe to the channel and tap that notification bell, all right? We're definitely going to find out more developments in this story, and you're not going to want to miss any updates on it. Now, don't go away because we got a lot more to talk about. Nancy Pelosi's reelection and how her net worth vastly increased while being a House Speaker. But just real quick, I just want to thank you guys for watching our videos. Thank you for lighting up the like button and subscribing to the channel and sharing these videos. I appreciate you guys. So yeah, it is confirmed former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced that she will be running for re-election in 2024. So Nancy Pelosi first revealed her plans at a breakfast with volunteers in San Francisco. She followed up publicly with an announcement on X, formerly Twitter. She says that the city needs to further its recovery and that she's all for liberty and justice and all that. That's why she's running for re-election. But is that really the only reason? Well, multi-millionaire real estate mogul Grant Cardone had some thoughts on a recent podcast that he went on. While there to discuss business, Grant Cardone took aim at politicians, particularly U.S. Representative Nancy Pelosi. So it started with talking about something that Grant Cardone shared online about how poor politicians going into Congress are somehow coming out rich. Grant Cardone brought up Nancy Pelosi as an example, pointing out how she's never earned more than $179,000 per year from her official salary, but her net worth reportedly soared to almost $120 million. As Grant Cardone said, she would have had to be in the Senate for 3,367 years to make that kind of money at her salary. Basically put, a government salary simply cannot justify such wealth. According to Grant Cardone, if you make $179,000 a year, you'll never be a millionaire, much less worth $120 million. Now, this is the part where people are going to say Nancy Pelosi needs to be kicked out of Congress. And they may have a point, but Nancy Pelosi is just one example of how getting into Congress, getting into politics, just becomes basically a cheat code when it comes to accumulating wealth. As they talked about in the podcast, some politicians may be benefiting from undisclosed financial financial opportunities. We talk about it all the time. How do some politicians amass such wealth while serving in public office? Just take Nancy Pelosi, for example. Pelosi first became the Speaker of the House back in 2007 and held the position until 2011. She then picked up the gavel again in 2019 and will serve until the end of this Congress. And in that time, her net worth saw a significant uptick right since 2008, largely thanks to her husband, Paul Pelosi, who's made his mark as a venture capitalist and a property investor. Now, it's hard to say exactly how much richer Pelosi has gotten since her first term as Speaker in 2007, but reports suggest that she's among the wealthier members of Congress. For instance, 2021, the Washington Free Beacon, a conservative outlet, estimated her net worth could be as high as $171.4 million. They figured this out by looking at all the assets and liabilities listed in her financial disclosure. They also estimated that Nancy Pelosi's net worth has risen by $140 million since 2008. Now, forget about index funds and conservative REITs as an investment. I want what she's having. You know what I mean? By 2020, the nonprofit OpenSecrets.org pegged her net worth at about $115 million, a $41 million increase from 2004. A lot of this wealth comes from her husband's company, Financial Leasing Services, which in the same time as Nancy Pelosi has been House Speaker, has been highly successful in its investments, and those investments have included shares in major firms such as Disney, Amazon, and Google. The New York Post reported that between 2007 and 2020, the Pelosi's earned between $5.6 million and $30.4 million in capital gains and dividends from investments in tech firms like Facebook, Google, Amazon, Apple, and Microsoft. Sure, you're going to hear the same old company line about all stock transactions are under her husband's name and Nancy Pelosi isn't involved in all of them. But despite this, Pelosi has faced criticism, even from her own party, for dragging her feet on proposed bans on stock trading by members of Congress. Although initially opposed to the ban, she later supported it. However, no such ban has been enacted yet. Surprise, surprise. In September, Representative Abigail Spanberger expressed frustration over Pelosi's handling of legislation that would require lawmakers to put their investment assets in a blind trust, criticizing her for what she sees as stalling and evasiveness. It's part of why Spanberger believes that it's time for new leadership in the Democratic Party. But what do you guys think? Will Nancy Pelosi take up the reins again when she runs for re-election in November? Drop a quick yes or no in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think. There's also the question about the January 6th committee that's being held in Congress. Now, I wonder what a Democratic-led House would do with that. Maybe former President Donald Trump should sue the whole committee for defamation and slander? Now, that would be something, wouldn't it? Regardless of what happens next, you can be sure that we're going to be covering it right here, you guys, giving you guys the truth behind what they're actually showing us in headlines. So just make sure you're always subscribed to the channel and have that notification bell turned on, all right? I'll see you guys on the next one.